Hi guys, VTech here, Blueberry Hill. So welcome back. We're moving forward. I'm pricing some stuff to dry in the living room. In the meantime, I'm going to put a beam and support post for the front wall of the house for the living room, right where I'm cutting that panel. I'm using my trusty plasma cutter just to put a hole, a little oversized, so I can have some workspace and weld the post and stuff in. The post is right in the middle of the whole entire wall. And it supports pretty much the upper structure, which is already welded up. All of the wall panels are welded up for the front wall of the house for the living room, and we're putting in 4x4 by quarter-inch wall posts and two big 2x4 C channels that run across the whole ceiling, spanning two containers. And you'll see me working on across it, so I weld everything up from one side to the other, and of course in the middle where it supports the center of the two containers. Those walls are pretty much cut out completely. We do have a 6-foot wall right behind the welder. You see there's an opening on the very left of that wall stays, and there's a wall behind the camera, which is actually, you can see the gray part on the very right of the screen here, and that shows the pantry, and that stays as well. So that's 7 feet. So for the most part, as I've been saying, it's a rinse and repeat process. Cut, grind, make everything nice and flat, clean, and then I'm preparing everything for the channel. Here are 1.5 by 1.5 inch square tubing, which fits perfectly into the coagulation of the container wall, and I'm welding them together to make one post that kind of sits inside the wall, so it doesn't take any space from the 2x4 construction we're going to do later. Anyway, plenty strong. We weld that to the wall itself and the square channel on top and bottom of the container. Here I'm putting a plate on the post top right now. You can see the plates on the floor over there. Those are going to be, the post is going to sit on top of that, and I'll weld those up in a few minutes here. So here I'm welding the quarter-inch plate to the rectangular tubing that's part of the bottom framing of the container. You'll see two pieces there. That's because the wood is about a quarter-inch below that frame. So I'm just using that as a support piece. I'm going to weld that plate in, of course, but it's just sitting on top of the floor. No big deal. And then it's a little oversized for the actual post, just so I have weld area. And now the fun part, trying to square everything up, make sure I weld it. Angie wasn't there when I was doing this, so I was trying to make it all nice and square. I was wedging it with cutoff wheels. Then I decided to grind it a little bit just to see if I can make it more square, or so it would stand straight up without me doing anything. And then in a few minutes I just welded it all up. So after triple checking and making sure it was going to be nice and true and plumb, decided to tack weld it and then go to town on the welding. So it was going to stay. Of course, it's once you weld the beam in place, it's very strong. So putting up the beam was fun. I was by myself again, and the one side I slid the beam into the other side of the container right above the 1.5 by 1.5 inch post, and then I tried to tackle it myself by lifting it up, and it was kind of heavy, so I forget the weight on the C channel, but it's a very thick wall of 2x4 C channel. I had to, as you can see, there's a jack in the middle of the floor. I had to jack the roof up a tiny bit so I could lift up on the beam and put it in place. So the C channel wouldn't just move into the on top of the post. If you look carefully, there's a jack sitting on the floor with a piece of wood that I used to pry that up a little bit. and then I could hammer it in place, and it just magically went in. And you see the jack move because that took the stress off that. But anyway, that worked really well. And now with an assistant, which made this a whole lot easier. We actually did this in like 2-3 minutes. I cut the beam, I got C-channel the proper length, and then Angie helped me. She couldn't reach it there, but she helped me hold it and drag the thing around a little bit. And I have these holders on the post. You can see clamps on there that I use as stepping stones, so we didn't have to jack the whole thing up in one big move. I made another step there, and then I go right by it and right up to the post and just slid into place, and we're done. Fantastic. So now it's up to me, do a little welding. I basically just had to weld the C-channels to the post and to the ceiling, of course, in the main support areas. You don't want the C-channel to flip over. It's impossible once it's welded, but in any case, they're structurally loaded, you know, in a C, not in a U. So that's where their strength comes in. Anyway, I didn't have to weld the whole thing together. I kind of did a little research on that, and most people just weld them so they don't fall over. Here I'm welding the center of the containers. I'll relax it, of course, took the jack out of the way that was holding it up. It settled down, didn't move a bit, so we're good to go. Weld it all up, weld all 3 areas, and we were done. And just to show that I actually did weld the other side as well, showing you I welded it. Yay! Easy peasy. So to clean things up, just to flush up the 2 C-channels on the inside of the living room. They'll be, you know, gotta pretty it up later, but anyway, flush it up and move on forward. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. The next bit of work, next video, probably is going to be doing the living room ceiling, which I'm trying to get pricing in the wood for that. Later!